Anybody thinks we don't bust knuckles around here. What's up, guys? Welcome to episode number 2 of Speed Syndicate USA. I'm Jerry, this is my garage, and that is the C4 out of my old man's 67 Mustang. So the goals for today are to, number 1, get this thing torn down. Number 2, be wrong and make less mistakes than we did last time. Doesn't appear to be any weld here. It's definitely welded in. Did this? I'm stupid. I'm probably not going to be able to use any of this footage. I bet there's very little fluid comes out, if any. Okay, I was wrong. Looks like I was wrong. And number 3, hopefully we learned something. I'm going to start by taking all the external stuff loose, like the shift rod is still on here, and the what's left of those old lines I cut, the cross member, stuff like that. Just getting all the external junk off of it so that we can start to take it apart. Pop this little clip off here. Pull the shift rod out. Put that back in there so we don't lose it. Matter of fact, put the one from the other end back in here as well so we don't lose it. Now if we lose it, it's the whole damn thing. Alright, so I believe this is our kick down cable. It's got a return spring here. This E-clip off and pull the little cable deal off. A pocket-sized screwing device. I have 2 of these. Man, you guys hear the fireworks out there? Guess we're celebrating the 11th of July. Oh no. The little switcheroo deal fell off my ratchet. Man. I'm going to have to find that and fix it. This was Dad's ratchet. Guess I'll use the snap-on for now. Guys go to NADC down here in Nashville. That's where I went to school, and got these Napa line wrenches in part of my toolkit down there. Ooh, that's extremely loose. Kind of makes me wonder if maybe that's not where we were leaking from. Well, might have just found our smoking gun right there. We need to get what's left of this cross member off of here. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but there is a hellacious fireworks show going on somewhere near here. I can't see it, but I can hear it, man. Happy July 11th indeed. Oh, you know what? I bet the fireworks are up at the racetrack. I think they had sprint cars up there tonight. I think that's pretty well everything that I wanted to get off of the transmission before we start tearing it down. Let's start popping the bell housing off of this deal. So you can see in the bell housing here, I believe that because this one has one set of bolts that are holding the bell housing and the pump on, that this is the early C4, which makes sense because if this is original to the car, it's a 67 model, and I think C4s came out in like 65-ish or so. So this would definitely be an early one. But anyway, let's pop the bell housing off. But man, this input shaft seal right here looks really good and new. And I'm kind of wondering if I'm going to take this thing apart and figure out that it's pretty fresh on the inside and somebody just left that line loose, and that's where our leak has been from. I'm going to go ahead and knock this front pump seal out before I take the pump out of the transmission, just because it's a little easier this way. Alright, so now I'm going to roll it over and pop the pan off and pop the valve body out of it. Alright guys, so here's the valve body out of the transmission. Alright guys, so I've got the transmission flipped over on the bench here. You can see down inside of it at all the automatic goodness we have here. I'm going to start by popping this front servo out. As you can see, that servo is going to control this band, which controls second gear. There's two seals on the piston here, and the spring helps to return it. I don't see anything too crazy in here. This is your reverse servo here, and this one is kind of a molded piston. So the lip of the piston on this one is actually kind of part of the assembly. So I'm going to try to be a little bit more ginger with it. Alright, so what we're going to try to do now is knock the pump out of this thing. It's not like, say, a Turbo 400 where the pump is threaded and you can thread a puller into it. On these C4s, you actually have to come in from behind it and knock it out. They're known to be kind of stubborn sometimes. So hopefully this one comes out fairly easy. Look at that. Fell out. Alright, so here's the pump assembly. And I already took the input shaft out of it. The input shaft just goes in here like that. And looks like our bushing is split right there. That I don't know if that's supposed to be that way or not, but we're going to find out. Yeah, this band is pretty well smoked. Not looking so hot. This is the modulator And this is another sign that this is an early C4 because this one is the screw-in type. Something you got to be very careful of on these C4s is that you don't lose this pin. It's easy to do. If you lose it, the transmission won't shift when you put it back together. All right, guys, as you can see, the C4 is completely disassembled on the bench here. Man, I got to be honest, there until the very end, I was honestly sad that I had taken it apart or even removed it, because the only thing I found was that fitting on the side of it that was loose, which was more than likely the leak, and would have, depending on which line that is, I don't know if that's the pressure return, but could have, maybe potentially been causing a loss of pressure, which could have caused those, the lazy shifts I was talking about. But when I finally got to pulling the clutches out of it, there are several where the friction material was just completely gone off of them. So it definitely needed a freshen up, definitely needed a rebuild. So even if that line was the cause of the leak, it still needed to come out and come apart anyway. So we're here. We might as well get some fresh parts and put it back together. And hopefully this solves all of our transmission issues with the Mustang. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. Come back and catch us next time when we put this thing back together.